الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وأعنا على العمل بما علمتنا. O Allah, we ask you to teach us or benefit us and let us benefit from what we learn and increase our knowledge and let us practice what we learn. Today, inshallah, we will continue our series of halaqas and lessons, knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is lesson number 24. Today, inshallah, we're going to talk about one of Allah's character, one of Allah's names, Al-Malik, the master, the owner. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In Surah Al-Fatiha, every time we pray, we say Maliki Yawmiddin, the master, the owner of the Day of Judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said in the Quran in another ayah, قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ, O Allah, owner of sovereignty, supreme and independent ownership and complete authority and control over everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the master and the owner of everything. We need to utilize our intellect capacity and our brains and our minds and think about this a little bit. Allah is the owner and the master. He creates, He sustains, and everything goes back to Him. In our daily life, a car manufacturer will manufacture the car. They have a complete ownership of the car. You go buy the car. Now that company who made the car no longer has the authority or the ownership of that car, even though they made it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He creates everything, He owns everything, He sustains everything, and everything goes back to Him. What does it mean He sustains and runs everything after He creates it? That's mean everything, that creature, no matter what it is, a human being, a tree, an insect, an angel, a galaxy, a sun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has complete, independent, absolute authority over that thing. It cannot do anything by itself unless Allah wants it to do it. This is a very important concept to really understand and think about it. That solves a lot of your problems, especially these days. And then everything goes back to Him. What's that mean? That means when it seems to you that there are some things that goes around that it seems like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no knowledge of it, that He just let it go, that it can go by itself. They're doing so many things and nothing happened. Rest assured, toward the end, you're all going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fir'aun, at the time of Prophet Musa alayhi salam, Allah let them do everything. Even Prophet Musa alayhi salam was there. He was the king. He told them that he is the God. He tortured them. He killed and Allah let them do that. And even the people of Musa told Musa, we were miserable before you came, and we are miserable after you came. So give us a break. But Allah let it happen. And people thought, He can do it. But then, at the end, He died. And how did He die? With the water. He drank it. And He died with it. So everything goes back to Him. No matter what happened, no matter what it looks like to you is happening, we all going back to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He owns, He runs, and He sustains. And after all you perform your missions here, with your choice, go back to Him. Maliki yawmiddin. قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ. The owner, the master. This concept that I just talked about, you really need to sit by yourself and think about it real hard. This is not something you hear and you go by. Just think what that means in real life. This is our Creator talking to us. Al-Quran is not just you listen to it and you read it, you also have to do tadabbur. You have to use your mind and think about what you're reading. So He creates, He sustains, and then everything goes back to Him. Another concept to understand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Malik, the master, the owner. He does not need anything to create or to sustain. He does not need angels to do what they do. He does not need anything else. If He wants something, all what He has to do is say, kun fayakun, be, and it will be done. So don't think, He needs Jibreel and the angels to do this and the angels to write on the right. And no. This is just for us to make it simple for us so we can comprehend. But Allah doesn't need anything. And everything needs Him for everything. Everything in this universe that we know that He creates needs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything. That's part of the meaning of Al-Malik, the master, the owner. And He is the master and the owner forever, in the past and in the future. He is the master and the owner before He creates and after He creates. There is no period of time, He creates time, that Allah was not the master or the owner. Another important concept to understand about the name Al-Malik, you have to understand this fact that this universe, including this earth, including close to 7 billion people that lives on it, all of this is ruled and runs by one will. One will occurs in this universe. Not yours, not mine, not them, not hers. Only Allah's will. If Allah's will happen to match your will, good for you. But rest assured, only Allah's will occur in this life. A very important concept also to understand, comprehend, and think about it. Everything happened, Allah let it happen. There is no, it did not meant to be. There's no, the number of water was more for that side than this side. There is no, it meant to be the other way, but it missed. No. If it happened, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let it happen. And if Allah wants something to happen, it will happen. There is no other authority in the universe except Allah's authority. More practical application in real life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. If you just really just think about this ayah, just simply, there's no, too complicated tafsir to do. You will sleep good tonight and every night. Allah said, قل, say, Allah, owner of sovereignty, owner of everything. تؤتي الملك من تشاء. He gives sovereignty to whomever He wants. He takes it away from whomever He wants. He honors whomever He wants, and He humbles whomever He wants. In His hand, it's all good, and He is capable of doing anything. Just think about a little bit about this ayah. This is our Creator and the Creator of this universe talking to us. This is not another human being telling you this. If you truly believe in Quran and believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is telling you. Simply put together, He is the owner of everything. And if somebody were to get something, Allah must give it to them. And if someone has something to be taken away from them, Allah will take it away from them. He makes people in higher places and He puts people down. And all of this is good. It's not bad. All of this is good. There is no absolute evil in the universe. This is contradict with the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no evil just for the cause of evil. There's bad things happen because something else happened. So if we think about this ayah and apply it to last night results, don't you feel better? It's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes His will matches other people's will, it's fine. But it's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the one who gives and He's the one who takes away. So what that means is He owns and He controls and He sustains yours and my life, health, money, wife, children, work, government, illness. It's all under this name, Al-Malik, the owner, the master. Because you really think about it, no matter how rich you are, no matter how powerful you are, there is something called dementia. Dementia means when people start getting older, they start forgetting things. This could happen to any one of us. It happened to presidents who were, and kings. There's something called stroke. You know what stroke is when you have clots or bleeding in your brain and one part of your body stop functioning. Some people can't even talk. And this happened in a split second. People can't talk. People can talk, but they can't understand what you're telling them. You tell them something, hi, what's your name? Good. They can't understand. And they could be engineers, presidents, wealthy people. It could happen. Cancer. It can strike any moment. There is no treatment for it. So no matter how rich and powerful, and you think you're strong, and you think you got it all, and think you can do anything, these little things happen every day in people's life. Part of Allah showing you who is the owner. And if you lived and you had the power, then what? What's going to happen? We all going to die. Is there anybody in his right mind says, I'm not going to die. I have so much money. I have so much power. We all going to die. So even if you don't have any of these problems, and you get to live 90, 100 years old, you're going to die. Going back to whom? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third part of the meaning of this name. He creates, He sustains, and everything goes back to Him. Remember how Fir'aun died? By drowning. So he was pretty healthy up until that point. With the power, with the money, with the army, with the strength. Choked on some water. And he's gone. So another very important aspect to understand that everything we own in this life, when you say this is my computer, this is my house, this is my car, the true believer think and believe truly, it's not really mine. I'm just saying mine so other people can recognize this belongs to me. It is actually Allah's house in my hand. Allah's car in my hand. This is Allah's money in my hand. This is reality. We think we buy a house, we pay for the house, now it's mine. For the records, for the deeds, it's yours, but really it's not. It's Allah's house in your hand. Another important aspect and concept of this name, the master, the owner, Al-Malik, Maliki Yawmiddin. Remember when you recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Allah owns your heart, your beliefs, your iman. Not just the material things. If you raise in your status and believing in Him and do a lot of good deeds and get to the stage of al-ihsan, that belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your guidance to the right path belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look what Yusuf alayhi salam, the one who the lady of the king, wants to do something with him, and then the ladies wants to do something with him. Maybe these days a lot of men would like to have that, but he said no. And then what he says in the Quran, and this is to show you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one who owns your beliefs in your heart. وَإِلَّا تَصْرِفْ عَنِّي كَيْدَهُنْ أَصْبُ إِلَيْهِنْ. So Yusuf alayhi salam, he is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you don't take him out of my way, these ladies, I'm just going to get weak and submit to them. Look how he talked about his weakness. He didn't say, oh, I'm strong-willed, I believe in Allah and I can withstand everything, just let me have it. No, because he knows that Allah owns everything. And he's Yusuf alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam, the one who destroyed the statues and who proved to everybody that these statues worth nothing. He goes back and said about these statues, وَجْنُبْنِي وَبَنِيَّ أَن نَعْبُدَ الْأَصْنَامِ. So after all this, Ibrahim, Khalilullah, after all this belief and strong iman and everything, he goes back to Allah and asks Allah to protect him and his sons from worshipping what? The statues that he destroyed with his own hands. That's Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah tells us about him that even his beliefs belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he is weak and he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect his iman and his beliefs. Another important concept to understand, we are creatures and Allah is the owner, the master, the creator. It is built in us, created in us. We have to submit to something. And we have a choice that Allah gives us, because we are not the creators. So we have to submit to something. And because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the gift of choosing what we want to believe and submit to, each one of us, here and outside, close to 7 billion people, have to submit to something. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're either going to submit to your creator or to something else. You can submit to your desires. You can submit to the love of money, love of woman, love of wealth, love of power, drugs, whatever you name it. You are submitting to these things as if they were your God, because you obey their way of getting things. Now, nobody will say, I don't worship money. It's not what you say, it's what you do. Part of worshiping, part of it is that you obey the one you worship. Otherwise, so if your desires say go do something, you're following the orders of that desire. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell you to go do something and you do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is part of your worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everybody has to submit to something. And if they say we don't, that's not true. So make sure that you submit to the one who really deserves to be submitted to. Because everything else is a creature, just like you, probably weaker than you. That's part of al-Malik, submitting to the master, to the owner of everything. And the true believer believes and runs their lives thinking, practicing, applying that they belong to their master, to their owner, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one that in his hands everything. So these words in their beliefs does not exist. In Arabic we call them ana wa nahnu wa li wa indi. Me and I, mine. We, my. This does not exist in the vocabulary of the true believer in their beliefs. Because everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When they say this is my car, verbally they're telling you this is my car, I paid money. In their heart, before they say that, this is Allah's gift in my hand. But some people, it's hard for them to understand that. Sometimes they think you're crazy. So you just tell them, this is my car. But the true believer's heart says, this is Allah's car in my hand. Because if you truly believe in these words, me, I, mine, and we, these are fatal, destructive thoughts that the arrogant people have. That's what Fir'aun and Qarun says. I made it myself. I made myself. And look what they ended up. And reality is not yours. I mean, even if you collected billions of dollars, who gave you the power and the brain and the ways to get this money? I mean, we all came from a sperm and an egg. So the true believer, not just words, part of application of this name in real life, you don't have to say it loudly. You need to believe in it and think it. It's Allah, whatever it is, belong to Him in my hand. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والحمد لله رب العالمين.